This is going to be my weekly update video. Basically, I'm pretty behind on a number of things. My real job has been a lot busier recently. We've started a new project, and I'm really motivated to spend a lot more time on that than I have been typically doing at my job. So the language learning has been backburnered a little bit, but I'm still doing it. So the Korean conversation that I've been memorizing, I've got it memorized now, and I'm at the point where I'm just repeating it a lot. The words are really kind of solidifying. I've noticed too, like when I'm listening to Korean content now, certain words are really popping out to me, like ones that I've encountered in these dialogues. I heard 열심히 naturally when I was listening to something, and it just popped out. I'm like, oh yes, I remember that. That's 열심히 공부해요. 한국어로 열심히 it was like the sentence was what was the whole sentence? 열심히 공부해요. 한국어로 열심히 공부해요. I think was the sentence. It was like 그럼. No, it wasn't 그럼. It was 그래서 한국어로 열심히 공부해요. 열심히 한국어로 공부. Or is it 열심히 한국어로 공부해요? Actually, I forget it where you put it now. But I heard that and I was like, oh yeah, I know that word. And it kind of occurred to me a lot of like what you have to do as you're learning a language is you just like expose yourself enough to it. It's like you're inoculating yourself or something, like you're infecting yourself with something to build up the antibodies or whatever, but you're exposing yourself enough to it that when you hear it, it stops sounding like just a flow of like an uninterrupted flow of nonsense to discrete chunks that you know at least that are a chunk. And as you recognize chunks, like if I hear like 저는 something something 열심히 something something 가요, then I know like the things, those something somethings, I know are their own chunks. So like as words start popping out like that as a chunk, like 열심히, that I just hear it and know it, it's like there's fewer things that I don't understand, and it becomes more apparent what are discrete pieces of the sentence, and that's like a really important step to actually understanding in a real situation. But the real thing I want to talk about for this video is my Chinese. So I'm planning, I think I'm going to start it tonight. I'm going to do every night, every day, whatever, one video where I'm just speaking Chinese. And it's going to be like, I'm thinking like 5 minutes or less, honestly, just talking about what I did. Because the issue I'm having right now is I feel really uncomfortable when I speak Chinese. It doesn't feel natural to me. Now, here's the thing though. If I were able to just not care about my pronunciation, if I just didn't give a shit if I sounded good or if my pronunciation was as good as it could be or not, it wouldn't feel uncomfortable. That feeling of not being comfortable specifically is coming from my own awareness of what my pronunciation sounds like, and being able to hear, for example, if I'm trying to say like a word and I say it and I immediately notice that I said a tone wrong, it makes me feel like really like, oh shit, like why am I messing that, you know, like this kind of like being critical after it's already happened. So it's not that it doesn't matter, but like, you know, you try your best to say something, and if it comes out wrong, it comes out wrong. You can't, like, even if you go back and correct it, you're not sounding fluent. Like if I hear myself mispronounce something and fix it, and I'm doing that multiple times per minute, like say I do that like 10 times a minute, that doesn't sound better than just going, you know, making the whatever the pronunciation error was and just going forward. So I've been really like hyper aware of that, and I was talking to my tutor and noticing that I was trying to record I was like doing practices where I was just like talking to myself and as if I were gonna make a video, and I just kept thinking like, oh no, why do I keep messing that up? No, I'm not saying that right. That doesn't sound good. Just never being happy with it. And the thing is, like, of course I'm never gonna be happy with it, because if I have a goal to be better than I am now, I can't expect to make a recording, listen to it, and go, oh great, I sound just how I want. Like, I want to sound better than I do, but that means how I sound now is what it is. Like, it's not going to improve instantly just because I think more about it or whatever. So with that said, like, the other thing is, I think it's not just that I'm focusing too much on it, it's also that my vocabulary isn't good enough, and that adds a lot of mental overhead, is what I would call it, where I'm speaking and I'm having a conversation with somebody and I kind of see ahead, you know, a few bits ahead of where we're talking, and I think about the next thing I want to say, and again, I'm not translating in my head, but I'm just thinking in Chinese, what am I going to say next? And like, I'll come across like a word I don't know. I was trying to tell my tutor that when I lived in Pennsylvania, I used to walk my kid through there were these farms, and there were like paths between them that you could walk on. And so I was like, telling her like, oh yeah, like I lived in a rural area and I knew how to say that. And then I just had like a visual image in my head of myself walking through those farms and the path, and like, oh yeah, like let's tell her about that. Like, okay, 那我告诉她我和我孩子, and then it's like I see that in my head, 我和我儿子我们一起, and then I'm thinking like, okay, what 我们一起什么在农田, and like I'm like 我在农田, and I'm like, I don't even know, I just guessed it. Is that the right word? 农田. And it turned out, yes, that was the right word. 农田 is like field. 农 like 农村, and then 田 like is just 田 is field. 农田. And I was like, what's I? But the thing was, I didn't know it so confidently, so I was like, 我和他一起在农田 and 中. And I was like, or there was like 农田中有, and then another word I don't know. I'm just trying to think, what would you call that path? And I just guessed. So this is an example, like what, sometimes you don't know a word. You can be like, just immediately capitulate and say, I don't know the word. 我和我儿子我们一起去那个农田，然后农田中有，那怎么叫，如果农田中有什么路，新人可以做的一条路应该叫什么? I could ask like that and just immediately ask ahead rather than trying to say it. But I guessed. I said 有新人路, and she's like 有什么? I was like 新人路, 我不知道是什么.然后 then I say, okay, 散步路是一条路可以散步. And she's like, oh, 这个叫, and then she told me what it was, what the actual right word was, and I forgot it. I think it might have been 步道, 有步道, 我们叫这个步道, 但是我忘记了. I forgot how to say it. I forget right now. And I forgot it almost immediately, and I actually tried to like look it up by like Google translating variations to see if that word would come back up, and it wouldn't give it to me. It was like really annoying. But my point with this thing is, I see ahead the word that I don't know, and then I think to myself like, okay, what word am I going to use? Like what am I going to say? How am I going to handle this thing that I don't know? And when you're speaking and having to think about ahead, like, okay, here comes a problem. There's a problem in front of me. What am I going to do? And it makes it feel uncomfortable, and it slows you down. And if I'm fretting about both my pronunciation and what word am I going to say, both things are more likely to get messed up. So I think like really the solution is going to be something like increase my vocabulary, get more input, and do these videos. So I already said the videos is what I'm going to do for practice speaking. I found a podcast I'm going to do for input. And for increasing vocabulary, I think what I'm planning to do is like I'm probably gonna find like a clip from the podcast, maybe like clip 2 minutes of it, find like 2 minute segment, and I'm gonna just memorize like any unknown word in that segment. I'm gonna write down and memorize, and I'm gonna actually practice and shadow that segment. So I think that's like kind of my plan, my attack plan to fix this issue. So stay tuned. Bye.